There's this unspoken rule that at a certain age, women are supposed to say goodbye to short skirts. But tell me this, who wrote that rule? And why on earth should we follow it? We've raised families, built careers, loved deeply, lost bravely, and started over more times than we can count. And somehow, we're still letting fashion decide what we can or can't wear. I know that feeling. Standing in front of the closet, touching a skirt you once loved, and hearing that little voice whisper, "Not anymore." We worry about our knees, our veins, or what others might think. And sometimes we shrink ourselves just a little to fit in. And that, my friend, is the real shame. But here's the truth. Style doesn't have an expiration date. It's not about pretending to be younger. It's about showing the world that your confidence, your joy, and your sparkle are still very much alive. So today, we're going to rewrite that rule. We're going to talk about a simple, powerful formula. The power trio. A blazer, a pair of tights, and a skirt. 3 little pieces that can make you feel strong, elegant, and beautifully alive. Whether you're heading to the office, lunch with friends, or simply want to feel like yourself again. But be careful, because by the end of this video, I'm going to share 3 common mistakes that quietly ruin this look. And once you know them, you'll never see your wardrobe the same way again. So let's begin. Let's take the first step toward reclaiming our style, and the joy that comes with it. All right, my dears, we're here, ready to break a few of those old silly rules. And let's start with the main character of our story today, the so-called short skirt. Now, when I say short skirt, I'm not talking about the mini skirts of our 20s. Oh no. We're talking about a modern, wonderfully chic length, a hemline that grazes the top of the knee, or sits just a whisper above it. Enough to celebrate your legs gracefully, enough to feel dynamic, but still utterly sophisticated. You know, a recent AARP survey found that over 60% of women over 55 said they'd love to wear skirts more often, but they hesitate because they're afraid of being judged. Isn't that a shame? Because sometimes the only thing we need isn't a new skirt. It's a new perspective on ourselves. So I'm curious, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you hear short skirt for women our age? Something daring? Or something that's been put on the off-limits list? So why is this length such a wonderfully smart choice? First, it creates an illusion of height. A hemline that stops near the knee helps to elongate the leg, much more than a midi that cuts you off mid-calf. And second, it brings a sense of freshness. A modern length skirt can instantly soften a professional look, making your style feel more vibrant while still being completely elegant. And get this, a 2022 study from the British Fashion Council found that women over 55 who wore skirts at this modern length were perceived as 27% more confident and contemporary than when wearing longer styles. So sometimes an inch or two shorter is really an inch or two of freedom. The legendary designer Carolina Herrera, an icon of elegance well into her 80s, once said, "The secret to elegance is simplicity and a little bit of daring." And this skirt, my sisters, is the perfect combination of both. I have a black pencil skirt that I hadn't worn in almost 10 years. I always thought, oh, that's not for me anymore. Until one day, I wore it to a special meeting. And when I looked in the mirror, I didn't just see a nice skirt. I saw me again, powerful, confident, and full of energy. It felt like I was meeting an old friend again, the one who always believed I could do anything. And it turns out, there's a reason for that feeling. The Psychology of a Fashion Institute found that 72% of women over 50 said they felt younger and happier when they wore a beloved item from their past. Fashion isn't just fabric. It's memory. It's energy. It's the way we tell ourselves that we are still living fully. Now, what about you? Is there an outfit in your past that made you feel simply invincible? Maybe it was a silk dress, a power suit, or just a blouse that made you smile every morning. Tell me about your power outfit in the comments below. I would love to hear. But I know some of you might still be thinking, that sounds lovely, but I'm still worried about my legs. Or, how do I wear this to a formal event without feeling out of place? Don't you worry. That's where our power trio comes in. In our next chapter, we are going to decode how the blazer, tights, and skirt, 3 familiar but powerful pieces, can completely transform your presence. Welcome back, my dears. Now that we understand the power of a modern length skirt, it's time to reveal the real secret. The power trio, the blazer, the tights, and the skirt. 3 simple pieces that, when worn right, can turn hesitation into absolute confidence. Let's begin with the faithful protector, the blazer. It's more than just a jacket. It's structure, balance, and confidence. A well-tailored blazer defines the shoulders, smooths the hips, and instantly makes us feel polished. A 2023 Global Fashion and Aging report found that 73% of women over 55 feel more powerful in a blazer. It makes them feel ready for anything. A tip? Choose one that's gently tailored and ends at the hip or slightly shorter than your skirt. Designer Tom Ford once said, "Fashion is architecture. It's all about proportions." And it's true. The right blazer can make your posture and your presence stronger. I remember once slipping on my navy blazer before a meeting. My whole energy changed. What about you? How does your favorite blazer make you feel? Now, our second piece. The tights, the quiet weapon of elegance. They smooth, they refine, they reassure. Matted tights absorb light, creating a soft slimming effect. A New York Institute of Style study showed they can make legs appear up to 15% slimmer than shiny ones. 82% of women over 50 say they feel more confident wearing a skirt with matte tights. I always say, tights aren't just for covering, they're for elevating. They're like a whisper of confidence wrapping around you. What do you prefer? Sheer black, nude, or a subtle pattern? And finally, the heart of the outfit, the skirt. If the blazer is structure and the tights are grace, the skirt is pure vitality. An A-line or pencil skirt just below the knee flatters almost every body. A 2023 style confidence study found that women who wore skirts weekly had 41% higher bodied satisfaction than those who only wore pants. Every time I wear a skirt that fits perfectly, I don't just feel pretty, I feel alive. I remember my olive green skirt on my 60th birthday. No one said I looked younger. They said I looked radiant. And that, to me, is true beauty. The magic happens when these 3 come together. The blazer brings power, the tights bring grace, the skirt brings energy. Together, they form the style harmony formula, a balance of power, grace, and vitality. When a woman feels protected, elevated, and expressive all at once, confidence becomes effortless. Which part of the trio do you relate to most? The strong blazer, the gentle tights, or the lively skirt? Now that we've unlocked their power, it's time to master them. In the next chapter, I'll share how to take this look to the next level, and the 3 common mistakes we all should avoid. Alright, my dears. We already know the power of our trio. But how do we take an outfit from nice to truly exceptional? The secret is in the details. That's where a woman's true sophistication shines. Nothing in fashion matters more than proportion. It decides whether you look tall and graceful or heavy and out of sync. A cropped or hip-length blazer draws the eye upward and defines your waist. A skirt that falls just below the knee creates that perfect harmony. A 2023 study from the American Fashion Balance Institute found that women between 5'1" and 5'5" can appear up to 2 inches shorter when wearing blazers that fall past the hip. Designer Giorgio Armani said it best. The difference between style and fashion is in the quality and the proportion. I'm 5'4". I used to love longer blazers until I saw photos. They made my frame look shorter. When I switched to a cropped style, I instantly looked taller and felt sharper. What about you? Do you prefer long or short blazers? Now, let's talk texture. The easiest way to make your outfit feel luxurious without buying anything new. The contrast between hard and soft, matte and smooth adds visual depth. A tweed blazer with a silk skirt feels classic and feminine. Like Chanel's strength meets Grace Kelly's grace. Linen with cotton feels natural and effortless, while lightweight wool with satin feels cozy but chic. A 2022 fabric psychology report found that 68% of mature women feel more confident in outfits with contrasting textures because they look thoughtful and refined without showing off. I once wore a silk blouse under a tweed blazer and a friend said, "You look elegant yet fresh." Such a small change, but it changed how I felt. Which texture would you choose? Silk, linen or tweed? And then, accessories. The final note of your style symphony. A pointed toe heel, a sleek ankle boot, or a polished loafer can elongate the legs beautifully. Try matching your shoe color to your tights or skin tone for that seamless line. A 2020 footwear visual balance study found that pointed toe shoes make the wearer appear up to 2 inches taller. Add a structured handbag, a silk scarf, or pearls. They reflect light onto your face, making your skin appear 5 to 7% brighter. I have a string of pearls from my 40th birthday. No matter what I wear, the moment I put them on, I feel centered and confident. That's the power of a signature piece. What's yours? A scarf, a pair of lucky shoes, or a piece of jewelry with a story? Now, let's talk about the 3 little mistakes that can ruin a polished look. First, shiny or mismatched tights. They reflect light and can make legs look up to 12% wider. Stick to matte black or a nude that perfectly matches your skin tone. Second, blazer and skirt out of proportion. If your blazer covers too much of your skirt, it hides your waist and shortens your silhouette. Aim for that golden 1/3 to 2/3 balance, top to bottom. Third, shoes with ankle straps. They cut across your leg and make it look shorter. Choose pointed toe shoes or ankle boots that hug your leg for a long, clean line. I once loved a cute pair of ankle strap heels, until I saw the photos. My legs looked half their length. So now you have the complete formula. How to build, balance, and elevate your look. These aren't just style rules, they're lessons in confidence. Because when you wear something that makes you feel your best, you don't just change how you look. You change the energy of your entire day. You know, wearing a short skirt after 50 isn't about pretending to be younger. It's about saying I'm still here, confident, vibrant, and completely in love with life. And my style is simply a reflection of that love. There's no fashion rule more powerful than the confidence of a woman who truly knows her worth. Because when you walk into a room, whether it's the office, a dinner, or your favorite little cafe, your presence speaks long before your outfit ever does. So, tell me, how do you feel about trying the power trio for yourself? Or maybe you already have your own little secret to wearing a skirt with confidence. I'd truly love to hear your story. Share it in the comments. Because when women share, we lift each other higher. And if you enjoy gentle conversations like this, about style, self-confidence, and the art of aging with grace, I'd be so happy to have you here as part of this community. Just tap subscribe, and let's keep discovering the beauty of growing, glowing, and living fully. Together. Until next time, stay radiant.